my people. Hold on, let me grab something right quick. I want to make sure I'm using facts. I like factual information. But anyways, I digress. Welcome to Box Center. I'm your host, Jay Smith. We're gonna talk boxing. This whole Tank Davis situation, everybody's talking about it. Everybody has their own opinion about what went down, what should have happened, what didn't happen, and ultimately who should have won that fight. And I really want to hear, I want to hear the opinion of the boxing fans, the boxing community. What do you guys think? Who do you think should have won that fight? Was it really a draw? Did you see it as a draw? Do you feel like Tank should have won the fight or Lamar Roach should have won that fight? I actually responded to somebody who posted that. And they was actually in the middle of a clinch and Tank pushed him down by his neck, which caused him to go down. And that's even funny because it's not even comparable. Like, Tank took a knee to pause the action. He paused the action and turned his back on the ref and his opponent, went to his corner, did all that, and they really trying to compare it to Tank pushing him down like that. Like, that's even funny to me. So my peoples, I'm just trying to wait for a few people to come up in here, but I really want to know what's up, my brother. Whoever's the first one in, I really want to know how people feel about the fact that, Tank Davis took a knee and nothing happened. And taking into account that the fight was scored a draw, well, if that knee would have been an automatic countdown, automatic 8 count, then Lamar Roach wins that fight. Oh, John Parham, what's good, my brother? Appreciate you dropping in, man. You already know what it is. But yeah, that's the magic question, for the people watching. It's 4 of us right now. What do you think? Should there have been an 8 count when Tank took that knee? Or was it okay to allow it to just play out and not really do anything? So King of Baltimore, Tank hit him with more power punches though. I think we have to look at the stats. I know that the box numbers give a certain information. I don't really agree with it because the problem with power punches is that CompuBox doesn't count the punches that land clean. CompuBox is only gonna count. For example, if you block it and you take a big shot, boom, CompuBox is still gonna count it as a punch landed. So it's really hard to go by that. I know that I see what you're saying, my brother, John Param, that Rick Glacier said Roach can contest the decision, but I don't think he's going to because he's aiming to get a rematch. He's trying to get a rematch, and I think they'll give it to him. So if you're trying to do more business with Tank Davis, I know that he's going to get a career payday in a rematch. You don't want to start getting into a legal situation where you're trying to fight that decision. So I think he won't have to let that decision slide and try to get him in the rematch. And I tell you, man, I try to call it how I see it. If you guys been able to go back and see some of my videos, you will know I never say anything for cap. I never say anything to try to get views or to try to get likes or for clickbait. I just try to call it how I see it, man. I think Tank, is still a great fighter, is still an elite level fighter, but he lost that fight in my eyes and in the eyes of many. He lost it. You're talking about a fight where they scored it a draw, and we have to be serious. There are rules in boxing for a reason. When you take a knee, that's an automatic standing 8 count. And to be more specific, Tank Davis took a knee to pause the action. He took a knee, everything stopped. He walked to his corner, got his face wiped. I mean, this is a world title fight. What are we doing? Are we calling timeouts? Like, was that a timeout? Because they didn't rule it anything. That wasn't a slip. So what exactly do they decide? Oh, let's not do anything. Let's just allow him to do whatever he wants. He's the star in the building. So you have to consider the fact that, well, he had grease in his eyes. Look, if you believe that, fair enough. If you believe that he had grease in his eyes, fair enough. But having grease in your eyes don't allow you to take a knee, my brother. That don't mean you could break the rules. Take a knee and walk away because you got grease in. You know what you're supposed to do if you got grease in your eyes? You're supposed to fight through that. And at the end of the round, when you go to your corner, you let them know, yo, I got grease in my eyes. And you have them wipe it. But you can't just take a knee and pause the action, my guy. Come on now. If you think about it, if you could do that, then any fighter who's getting beat up could just take a knee. Oh, yeah, my bad. I have grease in my eyes, so I need to pause the action real quick. You can't do that. There's no excuse for you to take a knee and pause the action on your own. And even worse, walk away from your opponent. That's crazy. They handle that fight like that was a sparring session. I've been at a gym where in a sparring session in the middle of a round, hold on, time out. But you calling a timeout in the middle of a championship fight where your opponent is possibly winning? And I told people, I feel like they cooked those scorecards. Why? You can even look, Clarissa Shields, I saw that on her live, she said, why they taking so long to read the scorecards? And in my live, if you go to my Instagram, I streamed the whole fight. I said the same thing. Like, why are they taking so long to announce the decision? You know why they took so long? Because when they added them numbers up, Lamar Roach won that fight. They had to cook them cards. Or at least that's how I saw it. They could have just announced that, the winner or the loser or the draw, this is the decision. They took a while, my people, to announce that decision. Why did they take so long? I felt like they cooked them cards. They had to, they could not let Lamar Roach walk out of there with that W. That's how I felt about it. But, I see that there are some people who say, they see it as a legit decision. They see it as a draw. Fair enough. If that's how you saw it, I respect that. I'm not trying to knock you. But all I'm saying is, the moment Tank Davis took a knee, paused the action, that's an automatic 8 count. That would have been a 10-8 round. And with a 10-8 round, Lamar Roach walks out of there with the W. We're talking about, that draw cost Lamar Roach a title in the 135 division and millions of dollars. If Lamar Roach would have woke up on Monday as the first person to ever beat Tank, he would have already had every opponent that he wanted to lined up ready to fight him for career paydays, for millions of dollars. He lost out on all that because of that draw. So we have to wonder, why was that fight scored a draw? Now, I want to say this, my peoples. If you watch the fight, you can at least be honest and say who won the first 4 rounds. During those 4 rounds, Tank was just moving around, throwing maybe 6-7 punches around. So he lost the first 4 rounds. You're going to tell me that he won 6 out of the last 8 rounds. Come on. So, King of Baltimore, you said when Mayweather gloves touched the mat, they didn't count against Zab. I'm gonna tell you what's the difference, my brother. Zab Judah landed a punch on Floyd and dropped him. He touched the canvas. You're right about that. But we can say the referee missed it. But he got up and they kept fighting. Floyd Mayweather did not do what Tank did. Tank went down to pause the action. He purposely took a knee. Floyd didn't purposely take a knee. He ate a shot, went down, put his hand down, got back up. The referee could say he didn't see it. Maybe he was biased towards Floyd, wanted to help him. But the action kept going. Floyd didn't turn his back and go to his corner and interact with his trainers and all that like Tank did. So there's a big difference. Floyd ate a punch, but he did not take a knee on purpose to pause the action. There's a big difference with that. So that's all I'm saying. Does anybody feel like Tank should be able to take a knee and that's okay? So you see, look what Pastor Jay said. Roach won the first 4 rounds. If you go look at the fight, those first 4 rounds, see for yourself. Tank Davis, in the first 4 rounds, he did not throw more than 10 punches per round. He spent most of the time backing up, lateral movement, and rarely counter punching. That's the first 4 rounds. So if you look at the fight and you see Lamar Roach winning those first 4 rounds, how can we say Tank Davis won 6 out of the last 8 rounds? Can we really say that? So, and I agree with you, Rafaelito Rodriguez. He didn't win it. Was a close fight, but he did not win. I think the draw was a good decision. If not Tank, you see, I think that's crazy to me. Like, if that's Tank, what are we talking about here? Now, this is what I want to say. If you consider it a draw, do you, and this question is directly to you, Rafaelito Rodriguez. If you say that it's a draw, do you feel like it was okay for Tank Davis to take a knee and not get an 8 count? Do you think that was fair for Lamar Roach and his team? Tank seemed gassed out. Weird. So Drogo, I honestly, I don't think that he was gassed out. I think that he was frustrated. He just couldn't figure out Lamar Roach. If y'all notice, my peoples, after like the 8th round, Tank started to be a little bit more aggressive, and he tried to counter punch with the hard hooks, whether it was the left hook or the right hook. He was trying to counter punch. But Lamar Roach, man, just kept them hands up. He kept blocking a lot of those punches. That punch that Tank Davis normally knocks people out with, it wasn't working with Lamar Roach. This guy prepared for that counter shot. In fact, I want you guys to think about this. How many times did Tank Davis try to counter Lamar Roach with a real hard shot? Lamar Roach blocked it and then countered him with a shot that landed clean. We never seen that before. Lamar Roach was actually countering Tank Davis's counter punch, beating him in the exchanges. That's crazy. So what I saw in Tank Davis is that he was doing what he normally does. You know, he takes his time. He figures out his opponent to catch him later on. Well, with Lamar Roach, when that didn't happen, he kept trying to catch him with that big knockout punch, and it just never happened. So you're looking for the knockout, and the knockout never came. He was behind on the scorecards. He had to have been behind on the scorecards. So how did it become a draw, or how do people even see it as a draw? I don't know. You see, the knee was definitely Drogo. The knee was definitely a mistake. Should have been a knockdown for sure. That's what I'm talking about. So if the fight was scored a draw and they missed a knockdown, an automatic 8 count, we're talking about a 10-8 round. We're talking about Lamar Roach walking out of there with the W. Biggest win of his career, a new title in the 135 division, and you can imagine the opportunities that come after that. You're the first guy to beat Tank Davis. Instead, he got out of there with a draw. I feel bad for Lamont Roach. And he took it like a man. He was like, that's all right. We're going to get a rematch. But come on, man. We have to be serious. How can somebody argue? And look, somebody said, I forgot his name, but somebody said that it was a draw or Tank Davis won. I asked him one simple question. Okay, if you think that it was a draw or he won, do you think it's okay that he took a knee and there was no count? I haven't heard from my boy ever since I asked that question. Why not? I heard from Pastor J. I heard from sources that Tank paid the refs to call a draw. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. And the reason I say it's a possibility is because check out how long it took for them to render a decision. Even in my live, I said that. I was like, wait a minute. Why they taking so long? To me, they took so long because they had to cook the cards. They went back on them cards like, wait a minute. This round, give it to Tank. And this round, give it to Tank. And this one. And that's how one judge ended up scoring the fight for Tank, and the other two, a draw. That boy got robbed. He got robbed. And you see what Rocco Arroyeri said? Roach won the fight with or without the knockdown. That's a fact. That's a fact. If you're being honest with yourself, Roach won at least 8 rounds. That fight should have been 8-2. And y'all know what's funny? I'ma share the video on this YouTube channel as well. But this is the funny thing, and I think it's crazy. Lamar Roach said that Tank told him in the 11th or 12th round, you're not going to win this fight. They're not going to give you this fight. Tank actually told him that. As a matter of fact, I got the video right here. I'm going to show it to y'all. Check this out, my peoples. I'm just telling you what he's saying. Lamar Roach is saying to himself that Tank told him. I'm going to show you this video. I want you to see it. Look at it.
We was talking in like something funny. When we was talking in like the 12th round, I think the 12th or 11th, we was talking shit, right? But he like, you ain't gonna win. I said, why not? What you talking about? He like, they ain't gonna give it to you. I said, oh, is that right? So, that's how boxing work. It's sad to say, that's how boxing work. I'm not like totally upset. I figured with a superstar, you won't get too much on paper. But shit, I damn sure thought I had it. Especially when they announced the score for him. I was like, oh, they gonna give me a split decision win. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh shit, here it go. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, damn, all right, it's over with. So yeah, man, it's
damn, my peoples. Tank told them, you're not gonna win. They're not gonna give you this. Told him to his face. And it played out just like that. So all I'm saying, imagine if you put money on Lamar Roach. Because I put money on fights. I didn't bet anything on this fight, right? If I put money on a fight and the guy I bet on loses, I'm good with that. Obviously, when you lose money, you're not happy about losing money, but I can take that loss. Like, yeah, my guy lost. But you put money on a fighter, you watch him win the fight, and that happens, you feel like you got robbed. So, Tavon from Baltimore, everyone knows the ref not going to let you beat any champ just because you keeping up with them. Lamar Roach wasn't keeping up with him. He was outworking him. He was beating him. He was landing the better shots. He was controlling the pace. He was controlling the fight. And the ref is not there to decide who wins and who loses. The ref is there to be a referee. If you're a referee, you can't decide what's a knockdown and what's not a knockdown. You're there to enforce the rules. That's what you're supposed to do. So the moment Tank's knee hit the canvas, the referee's job is supposed to start counting, my brother. That's his job, bro. So I understand if the referee want to be biased and he likes a fighter more than he likes this other guy. But, bro, you can't just decide, oh, well, he took a knee, but I'm not going to count. This is my dude right here. That's crazy. That's crazy work right there. Look, K-Bar, more punches landed and thrown by Roach. That's what I'm talking about. This brother threw more punches, landed more punches, dictated the pace, controlled the fight, and walked out of there with a draw. They did him dirty. And you know what's a real sign that a fighter lost? So, hot fever. There is no rule set in stone that says a knee down is a guaranteed knockdown. It unfortunately is up to the ref discretion. You're wrong about that, my brother. You're wrong about that. You're 100% wrong about that. I'm actually going to post the rules. Anytime a fighter voluntarily takes a knee to pause the action, it's an automatic 8 count. I don't know if you're making that up right now or if you're assuming it, but you're 100% wrong. It's up to the referee. If we're clinching and I push you down and you take a knee, that's different. If I punch you and there was a push and you take a knee, that's different. But when you take a knee voluntarily to pause the action, yes, that is an automatic count, my brother. You're 100% wrong. And I will be posting that rule. I'll be posting it. I mean, I'm talking to you live, right? But I will be posting it. That is an automatic 8 count. If you're exchanging with your opponent and you voluntarily go down to your knee, that is a knockdown. And look, I'm going to show you how easy. I'm going to show you how easy it is to prove you wrong. Find me one fight, just one, where a fighter voluntarily takes a knee to pause the action and there was no count. I ask you to find just one fight. Just one. That's it. Shut up and go get the rules. You see, now you're talking crazy. Now you're talking crazy. We being civilized. We talking boxing. If you telling me to shut up, hot fever, you starting to sound corny. I'm not answering no questions. How you sound? You sound corny as hell. You telling me to shut up? And I'm being respectful to everybody here? Come on, man. Stop it. You corny now. But my peoples, the bottom line is, we have to see what happened in this fight and compare it to what we have seen in other fights. I actually asked people that, since Saturday, I've been asking that. Tell me one fight where you saw somebody take a knee and off of that knee, voluntarily, they paused the action and nothing happened. Just one fight. And nobody's been able. Look what people brought up. People brought up, Floyd versus Zab. He put his glove down and there was no count. Well, Floyd actually got punched. And when he took a punch from Zab, he did put his hand down. The referee could have ruled it a knockdown. Maybe he missed it. Maybe he was being biased towards Floyd. I don't know. But what I do know is that Floyd did not voluntarily go down to pause the action like Tank did. And we can even take it a step further. How many times have we seen a fight get stopped, get waived, because a fighter turned his back on his opponent and turned his back on the referee? So not only did he go down in one knee, he got up and walked away. Literally walked away from everybody. How you turn your back away on everybody and nothing happens? His corner went on the apron and wiped his face mid-round. The clock is running. So I want you to think about that, my people. Have you ever seen that? Was this a timeout? Did we watch Tank Davis call a timeout in the middle of a round? So while you have people who really don't know shit about boxing asking for rules, just ask yourself, was this a timeout that Tank Davis called? I mean, he took a knee and walked away and went to his corner. What happened? What did we actually watch? So when a fight plays out that way, and then at the end of the fight, I want y'all to remember this. That arena was, if I could take a guess, over 90% of the people who were there for Tank Davis. He's the cash cow. He's the superstar of the night. People went there to watch Tank Davis. I think we all know this. I think nobody's even going to argue that, right? He's the big star. People are there to see him. So this is what I'm trying to figure out. How do you think that he won the fight when by the end of the fight, they were booing Tank Davis and cheering Lamont Roach? Your own hardcore fans who pay thousands of dollars to go watch you fight, they was booing you at the end of the fight, bro. They was booing Tank. You had to have seen it. So if they booing Tank Davis at the end of the fight, what is that telling you? And I can tell you something, my peoples. Tank Davis has one of the most faithful fan base in boxing. I mean, look at this guy. Send me the rules. Send me the rules. Yo, Tank Davis fans are faithful. He can cherry pick opponents. He can fight whoever he wants. Tank Davis fans will tell you, well, Canelo needs to fight Bivol, and Canelo needs to fight Beterbiev, and Crawford needs to fight Boots. But when you ask him, but who should Tank fight? Oh, not Tank can fight anybody. He the cash cow. He can fight whoever he wants. Tank Davis has a faithful fan base. And his own fan base was booing him in the arena, my peoples. His own fans. His own fans, my peoples. Kawhi Elliott letting people know to hit that like button. My brother, I appreciate you. And by the way, I appreciate everybody who hit the like button. I see some people subscribe to my channel, Box Center. Everybody who subscribed today, yo, salute. I appreciate you, my peoples. And you already know, man, I'm going to call it how I see it. No capping. I don't do videos for views. I don't do videos for publicity, for likes. I'm not trying to do clickbait stuff. I call it how I see it, my peoples. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm somebody who loves the sport of boxing. I know a lot of you love the sport of boxing. We love the sweet science. I know Hot Fever, he don't love boxing. He loves Tank Davis. So he's going to fight for Tank Davis no matter what. He's going to argue everything in Tank Davis's favor. He's not looking at boxing as a whole. That's a hardcore Tank Davis fan. Not a fan of boxing. But us who love the sport of boxing, we know what went down. We watched it. This dude called a timeout in the middle of a round and went to his corner. You know how many times I've seen a fight get stopped simply because the fighter turned around, and even the fighter's not even hurt. They be like, nah, yo, I want to keep fighting. And they're like, nah, yo, you quit. The moment you turn around, you quit. Come on, man. Lawrence Carmichael, it was all set up for a rematch because the first fight didn't sell. Corrupt sport. Yo, they want a rematch. I don't think it's not just that they wanted a rematch. I think they didn't want to give Tank Davis his first loss. We've seen this before where an undefeated fighter gets beat and they don't want to give him that L. Jungle Boogie, you can be a fan of boxing and be a Tank fan. The two things are not set. You're 100% right, my brother. But if you're a fan of boxing and then a fan of fighters, you don't put fighters in front of the sport. You can't do that. Like, let me give you an example. I used to be a Teofimo Lopez fan, right? But ever since he started doing that racist stuff, the banana and the watermelon and calling people monkeys. Yo, I stopped messing with him. I got tired of Teofimo doing that racist stuff. Like, you don't need to act like a racist to sell fights, to promote yourself. So to me, you already convinced me that you're a racist. He's done it so much that I'm already convinced that he's a racist. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not dealing with you no more. So I'm not going to put the fact that I like Teofimo as a fighter ahead of boxing. Simple as that. There's a lot of fighters that I follow, that I support. But boxing is the sport. Boxing is number one. Y'all got to remember, my people, all the fighters that we like, that we support, one day they not going to fight no more. Boxing is still going to be there. For those people who are, nah, Tank Davis won, Tank Davis, nah, they want to fight for Tank Davis no matter what. What's going to happen when he retired? You going to stop watching boxing? You going to quit watching boxing because he don't fight no more? So at the end of the day, the sport is ahead of everybody. It's about the sport. It's about the sweet science. So Jungle Boogie, how many boxers in the Hall of Fame had a bad night? Nah, yo. Every fighter has had a bad night. That's real talk. Every single fighter has had a bad fight. Okay? So broke up over boxing 860. If you check the rules of boxing, it says you take a knee without being hit. It's ruled a slip. This is for the casuals that don't know. You're welcome. That's not a fact. You're lying. That's not a fact. It's not ruled a slip. If we watch this fight, they did not rule that a slip. That wasn't ruled a slip. That wasn't ruled a slip. You can't just take a knee to pause the action. That's not true. That's not. You're misinterpreting the rules. If it was like, I want you to think about that. If that was really the rules, my peoples, that means that any fighter who's losing, they could just take a couple of steps back and take a knee so they could take a break. Oh no, it's a slip. I could take a knee. Your interpretation of the rules is basically saying that a fighter can just take a knee so that they could rest, so that they could take a breather. Of course, that's bullshit. Like, you literally made that shit up right now. Or you're misinterpreting the rule. You cannot take a knee specifically to pause the action. Now, if you lose your footing and you fall, that's okay. That's cool. You fell. But a slip is accidental. There you go, Jungle Boogie. A slip is accidental. Doing this, you're like this, and then you voluntarily do this. That's not a slip, and it won't be a rule to slip. That's an automatic knockdown. If you pause the action voluntarily, that's a standing 8 count. Come on now. Oh, you see, you have boxed amateur for several years, and it's actually a fact. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you're in the middle of exchanging punches and you take a knee, that's an automatic knockdown. That's a fact, what I'm telling you. And I ask you the same thing I asked somebody else. Find me one single fight, just one, that you can cite. And if you tell me a fight, I'll look for it right now in front of you, in front of everybody. Find me one fight where a fighter took a knee deliberately to pause the action and did not get a standing 8 count. Just one. I'll look for it right here in front of everybody who's watching. And you could prove me wrong. Or I could prove you wrong. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, my peoples. I've been following boxing for over 25 years. And I've been an analyst for a little bit over 2 years. I never seen it. You see? Terence Crawford versus Madrimov. Now, I caught you in a lie. Because Terence Crawford did not voluntarily take a knee to pause the action. They were trading leather on the inside. And when Bud tried to clinch, Madrimov tried to spin him a little bit to the left. And Bud went down to a knee and got right back up. And then they kept fighting. I caught you in a lie, my brother. Terence Crawford did not voluntarily take a knee like you tried to say right now. So there you have it. I'm showing you, in order to defend Tank Davis, you gotta lie. You got to make stuff up that never happened. You see? And you recognize the Tank Davis hardcore fans when they start saying, oh, y'all haters, you're hating. Look at the fight. Look at the fight and look at the rules. This guy really took a knee, turned his back on his opponent, went to his corner to get his face wiped. Like, what do we call this? A fighter calling his own timeouts now? When have you ever seen that? When have we ever seen a fighter call his own timeout? And look at DeSoto Hybrid, always hating on greatness. Yo, DeSoto Hybrid 21, I might just ask you one question. Who, name right there in the comments, name the 2 best fighters in Tank Davis's resume. Because you're calling him greatness, tell me who are the great fighters that Tank Davis beat. Leo Santa Cruz, okay, Leo Santa Cruz, who was moving up in weight to 130, who never beat a champion in the 130 division. Ryan Garcia, never won a title. Rollies, never won a title before facing Tank. That was his title shot debut. So that's what made Tank greatness. Those are the people that he beat that made him greatness. Damn, yo. When you love somebody so much, you don't even care about anything, man. Tank Davis don't even got a Hall of Fame resume right now. You look at the people he beat, he don't even got a Hall of Fame resume. But his comment, his fan base, yo, they believe Tank had a Mickey Mouse belt in 140. That was a secondary title. Had another secondary title in 135. Tank is the secondary undisputed champion, B. I've never seen a fighter have so many secondary titles. But when you hear the truth, that's what you do. You call people a hater because you don't really have a good argument. I ask you who Tank Davis beat that makes him great, and your answer is, oh, nah, you a hater, you a hater. Tell me the names of the people he beat. Go ahead, DeSoto Hybrid 21, since you think I'm a hater, tell me the names of the people Tank Davis beat that you feel made him great. You just tell me. Hall of Fame? Okay, Michael S., you feel like he could be a Hall of Fame maybe? Then tell me who he beat that you feel puts him in the Hall of Fame. I'm just asking questions. That's all I'm doing. You see? Oh, you know who he beat. Well, you tell me who are the great fighters that he beat that put him in the Hall of Fame or that make him a great fighter in your book. Because to me, if you're great, well, then you have to tell me who you beat. I'm going to just tell you like this. Teofimo Lopez beat Lomachenko, a future Hall of Famer, and a unified champion, and he beat Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor was an undisputed champion. He lost a couple of titles by, they were vacated. He was stripped of a couple of titles, but he had not lost. Teofimo Lopez gave him his first loss, an undisputed champion. Devin Haney beat Lomachenko, beat Regis Prograis. Easy work. Both of these guys are younger than Tank. Tank is 30 years old. So you see DeSoto Hybrid 21, you said Taylor and Loma are overrated, yet you still don't want to say who Tank beat. Oh, Taylor got cooked by Kambosos. Okay, who did Tank beat that you feel makes him great? So that's what Tank Davis, his hardcore fans, that's what they do. They attack everybody else's opponents, but they never want to talk about Tank's opponents. They never want to say nothing about Tank's opponents. Look, y'all talking about Salido and Kambosos and I don't know who else. But tell me who Tank beat, my peoples. Who are the great fighters that Tank beat? Because no matter what you say about Lomachenko, he's headed into the Hall of Fame. You could try to do. You see, you're a Lomachenko hater. You see, that's a hater because no matter what you said, the moment he retires, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Teofimo and Devin Haney have a first ballot Hall of Famer in their resume. Who did Tank beat? That's my point. Y'all will point at everybody else, but then you don't got nothing to say about Tank's resume. Convince me. Convince the other people in this live of Tank's greatness. Go ahead. But the Soto Hybrid 21, my brother, you keep pointing at everybody else, but tell me about Tank's resume. Who did he beat that you feel makes him so great? I want to know that. Who did he beat? Who are the champions? Look, I'm going to say this. That's why I like to talk with facts, my people. Not just opinion. I'm going to give you some facts. I'm going to give you some facts by looking at Tank Davis's resume. And let's just talk facts. Let's just talk facts, my people. While y'all giving your opinion and really hating on fighters, I'm just talking facts, right? Look at this. Tank Davis last win, Frank Martin. Frank Martin never fought for a title in his whole career. That was his first title fight. Before Frank Martin, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia never fought for a title in his whole career until he got to Tank. Before Ryan Garcia, Hector Garcia. Hector Garcia was moving up to the 135 division and made his debut at 135 versus Tank. So it means he never fought for a title in the division. It's his first fight versus Tank. Rolly Romero, he never fought for a title before fighting Tank. Isaac Cruz, he never fought for a title before fighting Tank. Mario Barrios, he had a secondary title that was vacant. He beat a guy that had like 8 fights for that vacant secondary title. Never beat a champion before fighting Tank. Leo Santa Cruz, making his debut in the 130 division. He never beat a champion in the 130 division before facing Tank. Gamboa, how old was he when he fought Tank? Like 100 years old? He never won a title before fighting Tank. Yo, so are you seeing a trend of Tank fighting guys who never fought for a title? And that's how you achieve greatness? Damn, my peoples, y'all set that bar real low. Tank Davis fans, y'all set the greatness bar on the floor, my peoples. Like, before y'all started giving out y'all crazy opinions about who's great and who isn't, boxing used to be where you had to beat great fighters so you could be considered great. Y'all just consider Tank a great fighter because he beat anybody. Like, are we serious? Are we really serious? And all I'm really doing is reading Tank's resume to y'all. That's his resume right there. So while Tank fans are too busy trying to hate on everybody else, trying to knock everybody else, their guy isn't even fighting champions. Tank ain't fighting no champions. He not beating no champions. He not knocking out champions. He's knocking out guys who never fought for a title. And that's how he became great for y'all? That's how y'all decided that he's great? Come on now. Come on now. And I gotta say it, my peoples, because even though some of these goofballs say that I'm a Tank hater, I'm not a Tank hater. I know that he's a very, very talented fighter. He has elite level talent. The hardest puncher in the division, without a shred of doubt. But they being very smart and very strategic about his opponents. They picking opponents that they know he's gonna beat. I said Ryan would not knock Tank out, though. I don't even know what you're talking about. Cool story. The bottom line is, my peoples, that fight played out in a way that only Tank Davis, hardcore Tank Davis fans will say that that was a good outcome. But again, I just keep asking the same question. You tell me who Tank Davis beat that makes you feel like he's great. Tell me the best 3 fighters Tank Davis beat. Tell me the champions Tank Davis beat. So we can go back and forth about opinion, about who's better or who isn't better. But facts are facts. We can't debate facts because that's what they are. So all I'm saying is, tell me who Tank beat. I'm acting as if Lamar Roach is a bum. No, Lamar Roach is a champion in the 130 division. He's not a bum. In fact, if you look at my last video, I say, yo, what if Lamar Roach pull off the upset? Nobody's expecting it, but what if? So I gave him a shot. I predicted Tank was going to knock him out by or before the 8th round. But I gave him a shot. Like, yo, what if he does the upset? What if he prove all of us wrong? But for whatever reason, people don't want to accept it. When we going back and forth about opinion, let's pause with the opinion and let's go with the facts. I'm still waiting for one of Tank Davis fans up in here to tell me who are the best 3 fighters Tank Davis beat. Who are they? Isra, I appreciate you, my brother. And everybody else who hit that like button, everybody who subscribe. I see I got some new subscribers in the building. Yo, I promise you, you're watching somebody who loves the sport of boxing. I ain't no Tank hater, man. That's cap. I call it how I see it. I know what I saw. And then if you disagree with me about whatever it is, we can just sit here and talk about facts. We can talk about the facts. We can talk about the numbers. You know, for those people who are telling me, nah, man, Tank, you know what I'm saying? He the greatest right now. He's great. Okay, good. Then I just ask you, who are Tank Davis's best opponents beaten? Just tell me, my people. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, my people. And it's crazy because oftentimes when I speak the truth, I get called a hater. A lot of people be calling me a hater. And to me, that's crazy. Instead of seeing me as a hater, why you can't just see me as somebody who loves the sport of boxing and who calling it how he sees it? Yo, if you look at all of my videos, man, I've never hated on no fighter. I don't hate no fighter. So Tariq Coleman, look, you name the 2 fighters that you feel like Tank Davis are the best Tank Davis opponents. 3 fighters. Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz never beat a champion at 130. And that's where Tank Davis beat him. He moved up to 130 and lost to Tank Davis. Then you said Pedraza. Has Pedraza ever been looked at as a pound-for-pound fighter or one of the best in the game or anything like that? Pedraza's been a stepping stone for all the up-and-coming fighters who beat him up. And then you got Hector, another fighter who moved up in division to fight Tank Davis, who never won a title at 135 and probably never will. So when you name the best fighters that you say Tank Davis beat, none of them was great. None of them been on the pound-for-pound list. None of them are headed for a Hall of Fame. None of them beat an opponent that you can even name off the top of your head. Where's the greatness at? There's no greatness. That's why, my peoples, when it comes to opinion, you know, we could go back and forth about opinion. I tell you how I formulate my opinion based on facts. So if you don't like my opinion, I tell you, okay, let's go to the facts. Let's talk about the numbers. Convince me that Tank Davis beat great fighters. And he hasn't. Tank Davis, listen, Tank Davis when we do the eye test, skills for skills, yo, Tank Davis is one of the most skilled fighter in the world if we go by the eye test. The hardest puncher in the division. One of the best counter punchers in the game. That's facts. But when we look at the resume, come on, man. He 30 years old. Teofimo Lopez beat better opponents. Devin Haney beat better opponents. Even Shakur Stevenson beat better opponents. Because Shakur Stevenson beat an undefeated Oscar Valdez. And by the way, after Shakur Stevenson beat Oscar Valdez, he went on to become a champion again. He won another title after that. That's showing you. He beat legitimate champions. Then I ask you who Tank Davis beat. You start naming a bunch of people who never even fought for a title when they got in the ring with Tank Davis. Let's be honest. Keyshawn, that guy as well. Yo, Keyshawn Davis, he calling for that smoke with everybody. But again, you know, you could troll, you can say all this craziness, but come on, man. Leo was a champion at 130. So tunnel vision, let me clear that up for you, my brother. Leo Santa Cruz won a vacant title at 130. He did not beat a champion. Leo Santa Cruz has never beaten a champion in the 130 division. A vacant title. You see? So that's how they control the perception of the fan base. You get this guy a vacant title, oh, now he's a champion, but he didn't really beat nobody. In the 130 division, Leo Santa Cruz was a paper champion. So you see, you're saying Leo Santa Cruz headed for the Hall of Fame. Tunnel vision. Leo Santa Cruz is not headed to the Hall of Fame for his work in the 130 division. And let me show you that you don't know what you're talking about. Mikey Garcia is headed to the Hall of Fame too. But he got washed at the 147 division. He not going to the Hall of Fame for what he did at 147. Mikey Garcia at 147 is a nobody. A nobody in the 147 division. So in case you're not getting my drift, Leo Santa Cruz in the 130 division is a nobody. He didn't beat a single champion. You yourself cannot name anybody Leo Santa Cruz beat at 130 unless you grab your phone and Google it. Nobody Leo Santa Cruz beat in the 130 division you even know. You would have to Google that shit and then show up in here and try to say it. Come on, man. Don't play like that. Pedraza became a champion. Come on. You bringing up Pedraza. Again, you bringing up Pedraza. So I just ask you a simple question. Has Pedraza ever been on the pound for pound list? Has Pedraza ever been known as one of the best fighters in the 130 division? Has anyone ever said, yo, Pedraza is that guy? Come on. Stop. Y'all gotta stop. Of course, Roach outboxed him. John Parami, Lamar Roach outboxed Tank Davis. Them scorecards, they got cooked. That's the reason why they took so long to announce the decision. They was cooking up them cards. All right, tunnel vision. If you're saying I'm moving the goalposts or whatever, all I'm saying is, if you're calling Tank Davis great, who are the great fighters that he beat? You're not going to try to convince me that Pedraza was great because he won a vacant belt off of a guy you never heard of. There is nobody in the boxing community out there saying, yo, Pedraza is a great fighter. You have never said to anybody, yo, Pedraza, he that dude. He great. Come on. Beating Pedraza doesn't make you a great fighter, bro. Pedraza literally became a stepping stone, a gatekeeper. Ain't nothing great about Pedraza. We're not even gonna entertain that conversation. Come on now. I'm not saying you're. Listen, tunnel vision. You're naming people that were not great, beating people that were not great, made Tank Davis great. How is that? That's not adding up to me. It's like you're telling me, yo, Jay, 2 plus 2 is 7. Nah, 2 plus 2 is 4. Tank Davis fans don't believe that he got to beat great fighters so he could be great. That's crazy. That's insane. You said Tank was his first fight at 130. You like, no. I said Leo Santa Cruz won a vacant title and then fought Tank. I did not say that about Pedraza. You need to go back into this live and listen to it. Leo Santa Cruz moved up, won a vacant title, and then fought Tank Davis right after winning a vacant title. He never beat a champion at the 130 division. Till this day, he never beat a champion at the 130 division. See? So Terry Coleman, the way that Tank Davis beats his opponent, it's explosive. One of the best finishers. But if you put a lower level opponent and he destroys them, that doesn't make him great. You got to destroy high level opponents. You got to beat great fighters so you could be great. You don't put a lower level opponent and say, oh, he's great because he destroyed them. Nah, that don't make you great. Come on now. That doesn't. That's why I say when it comes to Tank Davis fans, they got like a special rule for him where he could beat anybody, but he's great. It don't matter that he's fighting guys who never fought for a title. It don't matter that he's fighting guys who are moving up to a division. He's great. What you mean he's great? Now I'm going to tell you something funny. Naoya Inoue. I seen a lot of Tank fans saying that Naoya Inoue should move up and fight him. Now look at the difference between the division Naoya Inoue fights in and the division Tank fights in. Tank Davis fans want Naoya Inoue to move 2 divisions to fight Tank Davis. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Why y'all don't want Tank Davis to move up 2 divisions and fight Boots? If you do the math, Tank Davis is closer to Boots than he's closer to Naoya Inoue. Why he can't move up and fight the bigger guy? Why it's always a rehydration clause? Why it's always the smaller guy moving up to fight in his division? So that's what a lot of Tank Davis fans don't see. His career has been very, very meticulously controlled to where he's getting a specific type of opponent. He's getting guys who never fought for a title. He's getting guys who want vacant titles. He's getting guys who are moving up to a division to fight him. Yo, you know how many fighters already moved up to fight Tank Davis? How many fighters already moved up from a lower division to fight him? And they've been doing that for years. For years. Bringing the smaller guy up to fight him. Come on, man. Come on, man. We really gonna ignore that? I'm telling you the facts. I'm not giving you opinions so we can argue back and forth about opinions. All I'm telling you is, and matter of fact, look. Let's look at it. Watch this. Lamar Roach, I'm looking at Tank Davis's resume. Lamar Roach moved up to fight Tank. Hector Luis Garcia, who fought him right before Ryan Garcia, he moved up to fight Tank. Leo Santa Cruz, he had moved up to 130 division, got a vacant title, and then fought Tank. And we don't even got to talk about the rehydration clause. Ryan Garcia, rehydration clause, and a bunch of other fighters. So, if you're not seeing the advantages that Tank has in every single one of his fight is because you don't want to see it. It's because you don't want to see it. You want to see everything in Tank Davis's favor. My peoples, I see a few of you subscribe to my channel. Again, yo, everybody who subscribe, I really appreciate you. Everybody who hit that like button, I appreciate you as well. I see that, most of the people up in here is people who really follow the sport of boxing. And even if you disagree with me, I respect you. I respect everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm somebody I'm passionate about the sport of boxing, and I try to formulate my opinion based on the facts. I don't just use my opinion to say this guy's better, that guy's better. All I'm saying is I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the stats. If you tell me, yo, this fighter's great, then I'm going to question you. I'm going to tell you who he beat that makes him great. Because I'll give you an example. I'm 46 years old. I'm too old to be boxing. But if you put a 50-year-old next to me who don't got much experience, I'm going to put so many hands on him. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to beat him up. But beating up somebody who's older than me is not going to make me a great fighter. I just had a physical advantage. That's it. You put a 50-year-old in front of me who don't got experience, a lot of experience in boxing, I'm going to beat him up. That doesn't mean that I'm a great fighter. It just means that I had a physical advantage. So Tank Davis fights where he always has the advantage. He always has. Either he's fighting guys who never fought for a title, or he's fighting guys who are under a rehydration clause, weight drain, or he's fighting guys who are moving up to his division to fight him. That is the perfect recipe to knock people out, bro. Right now, I weigh about 138 pounds. You bring a smaller guy than me to move up in weight who got less experience than me, I'm going to knock him out, bro. It doesn't make me a great fighter. I'm an old man. So Flip is asking me, hey, Jay Smith, do you think Roach and Shakur would be a good fight? Hell yeah. That's a good fight. Styles make fights. I think that Roach will press the action consistently, and he will force Shakur to fight back. I think that would be a heck of a fight. I would love to see it. Shakur already said, yo, if you can't get the rematch, I got a title shot for you. So Lamar Roach versus Shakur Stevenson, that's a heck of a fight for sure. I'm with it. And I'm going to tell you what was the problem, my people, with this fight on Saturday. Tank Davis, he thought that he was going to be able to land that knockout punch and finish Roach. When that knockout punch never came, he was way behind on the cards. Way behind. And after the 8th round, he started trying to land some hard punches, some counter punches. But Lamar Roach just kept them hands up, man. He kept blocking a lot of them punches. And Tank Davis wasn't able to do what he usually does. Y'all seen it. Look how simple it is. When Tank Davis knocked out Leo Santa Cruz, he was behind on the cards. When he knocked out Rolly, he lost some rounds versus Rolly. He lost some rounds versus Frank Martin. As a matter of fact, he lost the first 3 rounds versus Frank Martin on all 3 judges' scorecards. He lost all 3 rounds. So I'm talking facts here, my people. Tank Davis always loses a few rounds in the beginning of the fights. And they don't really matter because he's going to knock you out. Well, what happens when you're not able to knock the guy out? We saw it. We saw it, my peoples. When he could not knock the guy out, it went the distance, and now we saw the type of decision that we just wasn't happy with. We wasn't happy with it. And you have to see, that's why I keep reminding people this. What happens when everybody in that arena is cheering for Tank and booing Lamar Roach, and by the end of the fight, they're booing Tank and cheering Roach. That's it, right there. The way that I saw it, the referee was in Tank's favor, the judges was in Tank's favor, and even the announcers was in Tank's favor. It was Lamar Roach versus everybody up in that fight. And I'm going to show you how you can see the bias. The fight was a draw, right? It's a draw. And how did they do it at the end? They interviewed Tank first, like he was the winner. And then he left the ring right away. And then they interviewed Lamar Roach like he was the loser. Shit was a draw. And they handled that like he lost the fight. Come on now. We have to be real. Like, when we can't agree because an opinion is an opinion, right? This guy's better, that guy's better. That's an opinion. So when we cannot agree on opinion, we just have to go to the facts. That's all we got to do. Let's go to the facts and see what the facts are. You feel like Tank is the greatest active boxer right now? Okay, who he beat, that was great. How exactly did you decide that he's great? That's what I want to know. Tell me. Because I can tell you, to me, for example, Terrence Crawford is a great fighter. A lot of people was talking him down, was hating on him. And look what he did to Errol Spence. Now, once he pummeled Errol Spence and retired him, right away the excuses started. Oh, the car accident. Oh, he was smoking weed. His dog ate his homework. I don't know what excuses I heard about Errol Spence. But the bottom line is, Terrence Bud Crawford absolutely destroyed a unified champion. Gave him the worst beating that we have seen in recent history. Like, when is the last time we saw an undefeated champion take that type of a beating? That type of a pummeling session. An undefeated champion. I can't even remember. It's a long time since we saw something like that happen. Yo, Flip, I appreciate it, my brother. Definitely. And everybody else, I see a few more people subscribe today. I appreciate it, my people. I promise you, I don't want to be giving up too much information, but honestly, I'm plugged in with a lot of fighters, with a lot of trainers, and y'all going to see a lot of me, not just in this YouTube channel. I promise you, y'all going to see me go into different places, man. I promise you this. Why? Because I'm not here to cap. I'm not here to make stuff up and try to get views just by lying to y'all. Nah, man, I really do call it how I see it. That's a promise. And I want to say this, my peoples. I want to say this, right? Regardless of if you think Tank Davis won that fight or if it was a draw, this is what I have to say. Have you ever seen Tank Davis finish a fight and say, I want a rematch? He said he want a rematch, yo. Why do you think he want a rematch? Why would he want a rematch? So, John Parham, if you're telling me I need to check out True Media Boxing, which Coach Malachi, I'm going to check it out. Matter of fact, the fact that you telling me this, I'm going to go subscribe. After I finish with this live, I'm going to go subscribe. Because I know you ain't cap. You ain't never lie, my brother. So I'm going over there for sure. So again, we have to, instead of getting our opinion involved in it, instead of us getting emotional about it, let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep it 100 and say, why did Tank Davis ask for a rematch? You ever seen a fighter who feel like he want to fight asking for a rematch? Or is he asking for a rematch because he want to do over, because he know what happened? I'ma definitely subscribe, my brother. That's for sure. So when you see a fighter who's used to knocking everybody out, at the end of the fight say, yo, I want a rematch, you have to ask yourself why. Now, I'm just giving you an opinion, right? So Sherry Parker, I'm just giving you an opinion. I'm saying, why would he ask for a rematch? In my opinion, he's asking for a rematch because he knows he didn't win. He wants a rematch so that he can try to win convincingly. You see, Tank Davis's strategy, it backfired on him. He took it easy those first 4 rounds because he felt like he was going to knock Lamar Roach out later on. The knockout never came. But Tank was not fighting for points. He was not winning rounds. He wasn't. We have to see how it played out. Tank is a guy who's used to finishing his opponents, and there you have it. That's what happens. Um. So Nikki, I'm gonna say this, my brother. You know, you're saying he's a woman beater and who cares? That's not really something I want to get into, my brother, because you know we talking boxing. I know we could have an opinion about Tank's personal life, but I don't really like to get into that because if we do that, a lot of fighters have done a lot of messed up things in their personal life. You know, oh, my bad, Nikki. My bad, Nikki. Much respect to you. And you know what? As a woman, I understand that coming. Now I better understand that comment from you. It's more acceptable because you are a female. But I try to stay away, you know, from saying personal things about fighters just because a lot of fighters have done a lot of messed up things, you know, and I don't really want to attack somebody because then we could attack a lot of fighters about it. But I feel you, and my bad, you know, I know a Nikki that he's a dude, so that's why. My bad. Much respect to you, Nikki, and I appreciate you, you know, coming through, hanging out with us. We got a woman in the building that know her shit. That's what's up. My peoples, once again, man, I see more people subscribing to the channel, more people hitting that like button. I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm just a guy who really loves the sport of boxing, I'm passionate about mine, and I try to give it to you how I see it. I never disrespect nobody. I know once in a while people go up in the live and they try to test you and all that. I don't get into that. If I see somebody trying to say that I'm this and I'm that and calling me names and all that, I simply just ignore it, you know. I'm not in the business of disrespecting anybody, my peoples. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to just call it how I see it. Before ending this live, I want to give a shout out to Nikki. I want to give a shout out to John Parham. I want to give a shout out to a lot of the people. I want to give a shout out to Cheryl. I want to give a shout out to a lot of you that, you know, spend some time with me. Give me your opinion. I always appreciate, you know, I don't expect everybody to agree with me, my people. That's not what I'm about. If you disagree with me, with my opinion, with my assessment, I'm okay with that. You know, just the fact that you took time to come hang out with me, I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone, all 23 of you who hit that like button, all of you who tuned in with me, everyone who subscribed today. Yo, I super appreciate it, man. Y'all really pushing me forward. Y'all really helping me, you know, move this YouTube needle, because we need to do that. And y'all gonna be seeing me around, my peoples. I promise you. Let me show you, before I get out of here, let me show you my IG. I know a lot of people ask me what's my Instagram. I had some people follow me yesterday. Look, that's my Instagram, my peoples. J Smith 134. J _ Smith 134. I actually streamed the fight. I actually streamed the whole fight on here. So you can check it out as well. Wait, the referee was cross-eyed here. He actually is. He actually is cross-eyed. But you know what I want to say? I really like that referee because he lets them fight. He let the people fight. He don't be trying to intervene. He don't be trying to be the star of the show. He let them get down. So I like that referee. I think he dropped the ball when he didn't make it a count, standing 8 count when Tank took a knee. But that's my opinion, my people. If you disagree, I respect that. Again, my people, that's my Instagram. Y'all already know what it is. Jay Smith. I see you guys tomorrow at 9 in the morning. I appreciate you tuning in. This is your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Yo, one love, my peoples.